Hi, Pop Kids! As you know, we're talking today about what it means to show respect and let others know they're important. Today, we get to hear what Jesus had to say about that. In here. See, Jesus mentioned a really important way that we can show respect. And I've got to be honest, it is not easy. Jesus talked about this one day on a hillside. He'd been traveling from town to town, and he'd been teaching and healing people. While Jesus traveled, he became more and more well-known, super popular. The crowds who followed Jesus got bigger and bigger. It wasn't just his 12 disciples anymore, but a huge crowd who wanted to hear everything Jesus had to say and get really close to Jesus. Now, that day on the hillside, Jesus talked to the people about a lot of different things, but they were very important. He said that people who are sad or humble or hungry are actually blessed. He said that people who suffer for doing what's right are blessed too. And he said that his followers would make a big difference in the world. That's you. Then Jesus said this: "You have heard other people say, 'Love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But here is what I tell you. Love your enemies. Pray for those who hurt you." Hey everyone, let's read that part together. Love your enemies. Pray for those who hurt you. Wow! Jesus needs me to show respect and be nice to people who aren't nice to me. And even more than that, Jesus needs me to love those people and pray for good things to happen to them. But they're mean people. See, I told you this wasn't easy. Well, I have a story about a time when someone was mean to me and I had to make a choice about what to do. And then I'll let you guess what I did. Ready to help me? When I was in elementary school, I really liked doing my hair in fancy braids. I got up early so I could comb out all the tangles and do my braids, and sometimes add a bow or pin them up like a crown. On this one day, I had my hair in a crown braid, and I absolutely loved it. My friends thought I looked beautiful too. But there was this one kid who sat behind me in class, and he was mean. As in, he was really mean to pretty much everybody. I don't think he had any friends. On this day, our teacher left the room for a minute, so there were no grown-ups around. And that kid leaned forward in his chair behind me, and he whispered some really mean things to me about my hair. He said it looked silly, and then he used a "hi, silly" voice and pretended to be me braiding my hair, and it hurt my feelings a lot. The kids around us could hear too, and that made me feel really embarrassed. I felt so bad, and it made me want to take my hair out of my braids right then and there, even though I liked them a lot. He was trying to take away the happiness that I got from something special to me, because he was feeling super unhappy and not so special himself. He was disrespecting me because he didn't have people in his life to show him respect or teach him about kindness. And I kind of knew that, but in that moment, I felt sad and hurt and angry too. And the last thing I wanted to do was love that kid or wish for him to be blessed with good things. No way! Here are some things I might have wanted to do. Yell at him and call him names in front of everyone. Hide his favorite video game. Tie his shoes together so he'd trip at recess. Call the police and get them to take him to jail. But do you think I did any of those things? No, I didn't. I thought about what Jesus said about respect and loving our enemies. Even though I don't think I really usually have enemies, that kid felt like an enemy in that moment. And I remembered what Jesus taught us to do. Maybe you remember too. Love your enemies. Pray for those who hurt you. That means, as tough as it might be, I knew I could choose not to say something mean back. I didn't need to break his stuff or make him feel bad. I chose to ignore him for the moment and pray for his life to change. I knew that before he could change into a kinder person, he would need the world around him to be kinder to him and show him what respect looks like. If he was going to treat others with kindness, somebody was going to need to show him what it looks like to treat others the way they would want to be treated. Now, this is important. Loving our enemies does not mean that we let other people hurt us. No way. So, when he tried saying mean things to me again a different day, I told him that his behavior wasn't going to get any reaction from me, but that if he didn't stop, I'd ask the teacher to help me move to a different desk. And you know what? After that, it turned out that respectfully setting that boundary did the trick. He never bothered me again. It's important to remember that there will be times in our lives when people hurt us with their words or their actions, because that's part of life. But when that happens, we can speak kind words. We can pray for people who are mean to us. We can forgive those who hurt our feelings. We can show respect even when we don't get along with someone. And don't miss this. When we show respect and do good things for people who haven't treated us well, we're actually showing the world what God is like. God gives love and forgiveness to all of us, even when we don't deserve it. And we can reflect that out into the world. Every time you choose respect, instead of choosing to be mean back, you're making the whole world a better place. And you know what? Kindness looks good on you.